when God made the world, He gave a uniform lifespan to all living beings. So He gave human beings the lifespan of 40 years, and He gave the same to donkeys and dogs and birds. So human beings became pretty frustrated. Some of them formed a delegation and went to the Lord and said, Maharaj, you have given us 40 years to live. Our grihasti just becomes set and life gets over. This is totally unreasonable. Can't you extend our lifespan? So God said, all right, I'll put your application in pending. Let's see what's going to happen. You return for now. A few days went by and a donkey came whining to God. The donkey said, my Lord, what kind of creature am I? I take the burden and put it from here to there and then from there to here, and 40 years go by. Can you not reduce my lifespan a little bit? God remembered human beings wanted an extension and the donkey wants a cut. So God removed 20 years from the donkey's lifespan. The donkey's expectancy now came to 20 years. And He added those 20 donkey years to human life. So God said, is it okay now? 60 years? Human being said, 60 years? Arey Maharaj, I still have so many desires to go to Florida Beach and to see football Super Bowls and all. Can't you consider a further extension? God said, all right, then let's see what happens. A few more days went by and a few dogs came barking to God. The dog said, Maharaj, in what format have you made us? We keep on barking, barking, barking. Nobody listens. The car comes, we bark from here to there and then we get tired. Then the next car comes, we bark from here to here and then get tired. Can't you reduce our life? 40 years is a bit too much. So God remembered that human beings wanted further extension. God removed 20 years from the dog's life as well. So dog's life expectancy got reduced to 20. God added those 20 years to human life. Now the human beings could well nigh expect to live till 80. 80? God said, is that all right? Human being said, Maharaj, it is all right, but not fully all right. I want to see my granddaughter's wedding before I die. People say, बाकी तो सब हो गया, अपने पोती की शादी देख ले तो फिर मर जाए. And in that granddaughter's wedding, everybody is saying this Dadaji is a big nuisance. Dadaji, don't come close, otherwise you will fall. You sit and see from far. But Dadaji's mind says, I want to see my granddaughter's wedding and then die. So, can you extend a little more? God said, all right, now let us see what happens. Finally, an owl reached God. The owl said, my Lord, have you made me by mistake? When the whole world is awake, I am sleeping. Because I have such big eyes, they get blinded. And when the whole world is sleeping, I am flying from rooftop to rooftop. Please reduce my life. God took away 20 years from the owl's life and added the owl years also to human beings. Now the human life expectancy reached 100 years. It is said in Kalyug, God has given 100 years to human beings. However, what is the nature of those 100 years? The first 40 is all right. The BP is all right, the heart is all right, cholesterol is all right, sugar is all right. Then after that, the donkey years begin. I have to clear the mortgage before retiring, I have to settle my son, get my daughter married, etc. and create enough bank balance for retirement. So like the donkey carry the burden, the human being is going from 40 to 60. These are the donkey years. At 60, he hits the dog years. Now the primary duty in the Indian joint family is to take care of the home. The son says, Pitaji, I am going with Bahu to see the movie. You take care of the home. And no matter what he says, people say, doesn't matter. He's an old man, let him keep on speaking. These are the dog ears going on. At 80, the owl ears start. Doctor, I can't see what is going on. The doctor says, you got cataract. Please remove it. Wait, let the other eye also get cataract. I'll remove both together. So the owl ears are going. The whole life goes by. And still human beings don't develop vairagya. That I was not to go in this direction. I was supposed to go towards God. That is why the scriptures say that it is His grace which will make all the difference. What does this lead us to conclude? Does it mean that we now don't need to do any sadhana? We can just sit down? Hearing today's lecture is tactically very beneficial because now we can exploit this piece of knowledge. Whatever little sadhana, devotion, bhakti, bhajan we were doing, we will just put it aside and sit down. And if somebody asks that, do you strive to attain God? Say, no, that Mukundananda explained that you can only know God by His grace. There is no point in self-effort. Nowadays we are just sitting and waiting for the grace to come. Will it come in 2017 or 18 or 27 or 37? Will it come by plane or railroad or truckload? Will it come from the north or south or east or west? Where will this grace come from? In other words, utilizing the principle of grace, we have given up our effort and become lazy, indolent, akarmanya. Is this the proper understanding of grace? No. His grace is required and our effort is also required. The Shvetashvatar Upanishad says, Tapah prabhavat deva prasadacha. Your effort and the grace of God. Manakrama vachana chhadi chaturai bhajatahi. This is your effort. Kripa karahi raghurai. Both endeavors are required from the soul and from the side of God. Sri Aurobindo has written a book called The Mother. In the first page, first paragraph, he begins like this. There are two great powers alone that in their conjunction can effect the great and difficult thing that is the aim of our endeavor. A fixed and unfailing aspiration that calls from below, and a divine grace that answers from above. Why is our effort necessary? To receive the grace, you need a vessel. In this case, the vessel is the heart. You need to purify the heart. Supposing you go to your guru and say, Guruji, please, I am seeking 5 liters of milk. Can you bestow your grace? The guru says, my child, I've got a drum of milk. But where is your vessel? Get a vessel. Now you go and return again. Guruji, I have a vessel. Please give me the stuff I want. Guruji says, my child, your vessel has got holes in it. If I pour the milk, it will get drained away. Don't bring a leaky vessel. Third time again we come. Guruji, this time there are no leaks. Guruji says, beta, it is dirty. If I pour the milk, it will split, it will curdulate. Get a clean vessel. Similarly, we say, Guruji, give us your grace. Guru says, prepare your vessel. So our effort is necessary and the grace of God is also necessary. If we don't consider our effort and marginalize it, that will lead to a disaster. Many people make that mistake. They think we don't need to do anything. In fact, they go one step further and say God is doing everything. Nothing is in our hands. Jnani mood na koi. There is no jnani, there is no fool. If God wants somebody to be a jnani, he becomes the jnani. If God wants somebody to be a fool, he becomes the fool. Hoi hai soi jo Ram rachi rakha, ko kari tark badha vahi sakha. So, if somebody makes a mistake and you ask, why did you make the mistake? Swamiji, it must be the will of God. The will of God that you make a mistake. वही होता है जो मंजूर खुदा होता है. It is all His doing. Nothing is in our hands. Ur prera karaghuvansh vibhushan. If you grew up in India, one sentence you must have heard thousands of times. बिना भगवान की इच्छा के एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. The same sentence comes in the Western world, but it's not so popular. Not a leaf stirreth but by the will of God. So people say, that even a leaf cannot stir but by the will of God. So He's doing everything, let Him do. I don't need to do anything. Amongst all the thousands of philosophies that are being propagated in the world, this particular one is the most disastrous. Why? Because then we will not do anything proper and we will blame God for it. So we need to root this concept from our heart totally and completely.
This has been so meaningful for me and my family.